welcome to day 2 of the Slow Sea Yoga Handstand Challenge. It's filmed at Slow Villas, Gilead. Feel free, if you do any of the exercises, to tag with the tag I just mentioned, and you can tag Slow Gilead and Sea Yoga One Love. It's been awesome just seeing everyone's sharings of what they did from yesterday's post. It's actually inspired today's exercises. So again, feel free to pick any of today's exercises and share, because then you might inspire Wednesdays or whatever day it is tomorrow. It's not Wednesday, it's Thursday tomorrow. Okay, so today's theme is going to be a lot on the splits, kicking up to handstand. I'm not going to go over the exercises like it's a class, so it's just going to be touching in, touching out. So you can always pause the video, spend longer in them. And I'm going to put down this block. So we're going to start very simply on all fours. So make sure you did the wrist warm up for day 1. It goes without saying that you've warmed up your wrists, but I still say it because it's just in case you didn't do it. We're going to isolate 3 parts of the spine. So starting with the lower back, firstly push through the hands, stabilize the shoulders and the neck. I'm still going to be moving my neck looking at the camera because it gives me more of a sense that I'm connecting with you. But just for you, look forward, keep the neck long. So you're starting with the lower back, so tailbone lifts, and then try to feel each vertebra in the lower back. So you're curling, extending, and then flexing the spine. This is really important because I've noticed there's a lot of banana handstands going on. That can be pretty normal in the beginning. Maybe you're just trying to get used to being on your hands, or maybe you haven't just gone over ideas of form of straight line handstands before. So the more we can get this mobilization before we enter the handstand, the easier it will be upside down. Or have connected with it. My hands aren't quite in one line. Then you're going to stabilize the lower back. So you're not in an extension here. Think of a little bit of the lower ribs pulling in. Pushing broadening the diaphragm, where the lumbar meets the thoracic, you're pushing that up. And then you're just going to sink between the shoulders and push up. So you're going from here, retraction to protraction. Just getting that mobilization, keeping the arms straight. Good, and then here I'm going to even out my knees as well in relation to my hands. And then you're going to push up into your back, stabilize lower ribs pulling in. So you're stabilizing your lower back and your middle back. And just extend the neck and flex the neck. So you can, I'm sure, see how this neck movement will come in useful. For example, when you're in the handstand of tucking the chin in, looking towards the navel, and then maybe starting to look forwards. If you're going into a scorpion, my sunglasses might just drop off. Anyway, spend as long with that as you want. We're going to do simple warm-ups for the legs. So your right leg steps forwards, sink forwards, lift your back knee off the floor. Knee comes down, pull back, half splits, lengthen through the waist. Good, come forwards, now lift the back knee off the floor, extend the arms with the ears. Think of that idea of before, of lower ribs gently pulling in, arms with ears, extending. Good, turning to the right, gently roll this thigh out, keeping the right heel down. Good, and then swapping sides. You can do this with hands on the floor, off, it's up to you. I would go through it like around 4 or 5 times. Sometimes hands off, sometimes hands down. Coming back around, sinking into the hips. Left sit bone comes closer to left heel. Pull back, half splits. Come forwards again, lift the back knee off the floor, arms with the ears again. Think of that action, that straight line, with low ribs pulling in. So it's very much like the handstand line. Imagine this is a handstand, that the back leg is the leg up to the ceiling. The front leg is doing something quite quirky. Good, and then release. And you can just hang forwards here, take your elbows, let the body hang, feet around hip distance apart. Shift your weight into the toes, kneecaps lift up, walk back to wall. Around 5 to 6 breaths here with one leg up the wall, make it as straight as you can. Bend that top knee, push that top knee to the wall, heel to butt. And again, 5 to 6 breaths there. Little pulses of the top leg away from the wall. Again, around 5 to 6, swapping sides. Extending,
top knee to the wall, heel to butt, sliding that top knee up. Again, you're doing 5 to 6 breaths and then 5 to 6 leg lifts. Good, releasing. Good, and then we're going to go over the technique for kicking. So I know some of you are not used to kicking up. There's 3 things which will get you up. So let me show you the process. Your hands on the floor, fingers are spread, index fingers forward. There's a slight gripping through the fingertips, which will come naturally as your shoulders come forwards. You bend the base leg. Every time you extend it, the top leg lifts. So bend, extend, extend. Okay, so you're going to do that about 5 to 6 times on each leg. So you bend the base leg. Every time you extend it, you can't lift the heel and the top leg lifts. You're not doing any jumping yet. I'm just going to move this out of the way. So 5 to 6, feel that connection. There's 3 things which are going to bring you up into the handstand when you have that technique. It's the pushing through the hands. It's the driving through the top thigh. And it's the springing action of the bottom leg. When you're comfortable with kicking, you don't really need to use that much power in any of those parts. If you're not coming up yet into a handstand or up against the wall, just drive through those 3 things. So I'm going to use the wall. So I push through my hands, I push up the drop thigh and the top leg lifts. When you're comfortable with handstands, you can just focus, even just pushing through the hands will bring you more into a press handstand coming up. Driving through your top thigh could be enough, but until you're getting used to the movement, get those 3 actions working well. Okay, so you're going to go 5 to 6 times those exercises here, and then you're going to start to add in kicking. Now, or jumping. Have a wall behind you if you're not comfortable with handstands. If you know how to come out of a handstand, if you fall, just push more through one hand and you turn to the side, a little bit like a cartwheel. If you don't know what I'm talking about, make sure you have a wall behind you or someone around. I don't want you to worry too much about the balance, and we're not going to lift the second leg, so it's going to pretty much only stay up at 90 degrees, so it's not going to go all the way up. Only the top leg will go up. So you're the same action as before, you're not kicking yet, and then you can start with just little hops, so you're not even going to bring the top leg all the way up. And then you can start to make it more springy. The second leg doesn't need to come up. For those who are more comfortable here, you can play with bending the bottom leg and then extending. But try not, for this exercise, don't lift the second leg. So you can try that. If you're doing it against the wall, similar. Top leg is up, this leg here. Maybe you bend the knee, keep pushing up, maybe the top leg comes away from the wall. Or you keep it more parallel to the floor, keep extending through the top leg. Again, maybe you start to lift the top leg away from the wall. Yeah, probably one other exercise I want to cover today is you're going to be on your back, hands behind you. Imagine someone stepping on your hands and try to push the lower ribs into the floor and then lift them away. So push the lower ribs down, see how that starts to hollow out your abdomen, and then relax. Lower ribs down. So this is a really good move just to get used to in your handstands. If you want to, you can then try bringing one knee into the chest. See how it makes it much easier to pull the lower ribs down. And then extend, knee. An extended leg can hover just off the floor, and then extend. So it's much easier to get that position with one knee bent. And then you can do that similar to kicking up that we did away from the wall. Some of you will be against the wall. Remember, my right arm is the arm which doesn't look completely straight. So you're going to kick up as close to the wall as you can. Oopa. I'm not kicking that heavily onto this, but it's such a light wall that it makes these crazy sounds. It looks like I'm really slamming into it. Okay, so same idea as again as you did on the floor. So one heel, let's say my left heel stays on the wall, right knee drives down, like I was doing, and then maybe top leg lifts away from the wall. So it's away from the wall now. I can bring it back to the wall and extend. So as it falls down, it will be easier to push the diaphragm back like we did before. So both feet, knee down, maybe diaphragm back. Okay, and then I would time that exercise. Try to do it for 30 seconds or 40 seconds. So you're working again your stamina. And yeah, that's day 2. Slow C yoga handstand challenge. You know, that's quite a mouthful. I have to really think when I say that. Maybe on day 7 it will be much easier. It's actually harder than doing the handstand exercises. Okay, enjoy. Let me know how you're getting on. What you shared today will inspire and co-create for tomorrow.